Hello viewers and welcome to this program. I'm Rohit Vyas and you're watching us on Face to Face, Coast to Coast throughout North America. It's a real pleasure to have our guest on board here the first time for an exclusive interview nationwide for all of you, the viewers of TV Asia, members of the South Asian diaspora. All of you have heard the name Ambani. You've all heard the name Reliance. Two powerful names in India, in the subcontinent, indeed in the world. And when you think about Reliance and when you think about the Ambanis, you think about entrepreneurship, industry, a lot of things connected to business. However, we have the first lady of the family here with us today. Her name is Nita Ambani. She is the wife of Mukesh Ambani, and she's here in her capacity as the founder and chairperson of the Reliance Foundation. Now what's happening, we're here in Chicago, and the Art Institute of Chicago has an exhibit that is being sponsored. They are the lead sponsors, Reliance Foundation. Ma'am, it's a real pleasure to have you here, Nita, on TV Asia. Thank you and welcome to the United States. It's a pleasure to have you here with us.
Thank you. It's wonderful being here in Chicago, in such a beautiful environment of the Art Institute of Chicago.
That's right. Now, as I said at the outset, you're here in that capacity with the Reliance Foundation. There's an exhibit going on here known as Gates of the Lord, the Tradition of Krishna paintings. And I'd first like to talk a bit about the exhibit here at the Art Institute and what got you involved to this degree, to the point where the Institute has invited both you and Mukesh Ambani on the President's Council of the Institute. And this is an old institute, one that's been established, one of the best known in the world. So how did you get involved with this and what drove you to be a part of this particular exhibit?
So I'm really honored that they've invited me at the Art Institute of Chicago. It started last year when Douglas and Madhuvanti came and met me and spoke about bringing the Pichwai art form to Chicago. And I was fascinated because Pichwai is the living art form which still thrives in India, in Rajasthan. And another reason was that it was something really close to my heart because it was about Srinathji, which is another name for Krishna, and our family is a believer in Srinathji, which resides in Nathdwara, the gates of the Lord. So I think for me it was that time that I started getting involved, and I just feel that the time is right to bring in the teachings of Krishna. He teaches us universal love, oneness, peace, harmony, and what better time than now to bring it all here to America. And
in your mind, this is not necessarily religious, but the fact that it's part of a cultural ethos of India, and the fact that the teachings of Krishna are actually universal, aren't they?
They are. I mean, tolerance to all religions, to end fanaticism, to have universal harmony and love. These are the preachings of Krishna, and it is apt everywhere.
Now, you're also known as the cultural ambassador of India, bringing to the world much about India that a lot of people do not know. And you assume this role, it seems, very lovingly and with a lot of affection and with a lot of pride, and I can see it in your smile as you're speaking to me right now, that you're genuinely proud of Indian culture and heritage. What has driven you to take on this role? And I'm not saying you're the one naming yourself the cultural ambassador, but everybody recognizes you as such. And what is driving you to do this? And what is the message you're giving the international community about Indian culture?
Well, for me, I'm a dancer. I practice Bharatanatyam, and I've been practicing it for the last 43 years. And I just think that India has such a diverse culture and art in its legacy, and it's a time to bring it to the world. And I'm so proud to be an Indian and to be a part of this huge cultural ethos that we all share. So I think if there are little steps, I thought we can do it in two ways. One is to bring the best of India, art and culture, to the world, and then take the best of the world to India. These are it's my first initiative in culture by Reliance Foundation. So they're small steps, but we are very passionate about this and very sincere to the cause. We have a team of 500 plus dedicated people working for Reliance Foundation in its different spheres.
Now, Reliance Foundation, since you mention it, I noticed that one of its core values is the 5 pillars, they call it. And I'd like you to outline for us the theory, the spirit of Reliance Foundation. First of all, tell us a bit about these 5 pillars. What are they all about?
Reliance Foundation was founded in 2010. We took up health, education, sports. I'm very passionate about this. Rural transformation through a movement called the Bharat India Jodo, we call it the BEEJ, disaster response, and urban renewal. I can tell you a little bit of what we do at Reliance Foundation through probably some stories that have touched my heart. When the floods hit Uttarakhand in northern India, Reliance Foundation was there rebuilding homes and schools there for the affected. I was spending time with young children over there, little children, and I found them smiling with a glint of optimism in their eyes in spite of the misery around them. I asked them what would they like in their new school. So, many of them got up and said football fields, some said computers. And then a little girl came and sat down next to me and said very softly in my ears, a separate toilet for girls. And I think it is these small things that make a huge difference to a girl's life and future in India. And we are working at transforming rural education in a holistic way in India.
So that's actually, this is something that Prime Minister Narendra Modi in India has been talking about.
Yes.
The fact that one of the biggest reasons in India for girls dropping out of school at an early age is the lack of proper toilet facilities. And did that go through your mind then when this little girl whispered in your ear? Was that what did you actually understand what she was communicating to you?
Yes, I did.
At first take?
Yes, it did. And girls drop out at 13 from school, and so I think we need to look at rural education, as I said, in a holistic way, where you provide toilets for girls, you provide along with playing fields for the children.
So through your foundation then, how are you perpetuating this and making this vision of yours grow? What are you doing right now in that particular area?
So at Reliance Foundation, we've touched the lives of around about 4 million people. Education is one part, health is another. Again, we have we have a hospital that we started, and last year, our Honorable Prime Minister opened it. But along with that, we have mobile and static medical centers, which goes around and provides basic health care to the communities around.
And that's rural areas as well?
In rural areas also. It's so important. Education and health are so important, and especially I think education and health for women and girl child, and we are concentrating on that.
So in the area of health, do you find yourself receiving a lot of cooperation from qualified doctors, for instance, to take part in this mission and to go out there and assist you all in this effort? Now, and it's obviously a philanthropic cause, which seeks no gain other than better health, as you put it.
Absolutely. I was so surprised that whenever we work for disaster response, we have so many people, so many doctors who want to do their best, and we stay in tents. Sometimes they're only two-sided tents. They don't even have a third side. So, and wanting to do the best for humanity, and it really touches us. And I must tell you, at the Foundation Hospital, which we opened in Mumbai, we have 48 doctors who come back to India to serve in Mumbai.
On disaster relief specifically, you mentioned Uttarakhand, and that was a horrible time, I recall, where actually entire portions of land simply collapsed before everyone's eyes, and people were washed away in those raging rivers upstream and went downstream, and we never found, so many bodies were never found ever
That's
again.
right.
What was the response in Uttarakhand and other states to this effort of Reliance in stepping in now, in disaster, combating disaster and the post-disaster effort?
I think every citizen and every corporate can be a part of this, because it's so important that we get them back into normal life. We get children back to schools, and for that it's not only the government but all of us together who have to work together to see that this happens. And I have been really amazed at what I've seen in Uttarakhand. Children have gone where they've lost their parents, they've lost their homes, they've lost everything, but come back and go to school. Their nearest school is a 2-hour trek in the mountains, and yet they want to study, yet they're fighting for a better future. And that inspires all of us.
You said something very interesting. You said corporates need to step up. It's important for corporates to step up. And you obviously are leading this effort. I don't refer to you as corporate because, first of all, you also mentioned the fact that you're a Bharatanatyam dancer, which explains your sensitivity to human beings, because only an artist is really sensitive to another human being. And so you are an artist, I understand.
That's right.
That.
I don't know whether you know the story, but my father-in-law saw me performing at a dance performance and sent a proposal for Mukesh.
Dhirubhai Ambani. Yes. This actually is a true story?
Yes, yes.
My goodness, that is so amazing. Well then, he was a sensitive man. He understood sensitivity and figured you'd be great for his son, and indeed you are. On the question of education once again, have you opened up schools? Have you been thinking about opening up schools and that type of thing?
Yes, so at this moment we run 13 schools, educating more than 15,000 children, and they're in all parts of Gujarat and Maharashtra. But education is really something that I have been a teacher. I started my journey as a teacher, and I think if I can concentrate on primary education in India and see that every child can read and write, it would be wonderful. It would make the world so much more beautiful.
And do you seek help of the digital revolution and therefore seek technology for these schools at that primary education level?
Absolutely, technology is the way to go.
So in this corporate world that you're in, obviously there's a lot of social obligations, meeting people, so on and so forth. So when you meet people, do you go out there and say, I want you to get involved now. I want you to start doing this. We've all done enough. We've attained levels of success that are beyond a person's imagination. Let's go out and do some more. Do you find yourself, when you meet people, other people?
I actually, it's the other way around, When I meet, and I really kind of travel a lot for my work, and I get inspired by the kind of work individuals are doing in villages, by the kind of work, which is not heard, which is not talked about. But I take it back home saying, oh great, look at what Vanjaben is doing in a village in Gujarat. She is a lady who is a single mother, has 3 children, bedridden father, and has to look after her family, and she's not defeated. She's doing it not only for her family, but she's doing it to empower the villages. And one individual has brought about so much change in that village in Gujarat. And I get inspired by these stories, and I want to do more then.
Now I imagine Mukesh, your husband, and of course one of the best known entrepreneurs on the planet, throws his entire support behind you. Especially, I'm going to say this, since his father chose you, selected you and made the proposal. If you want something, for instance, if you want to do this thing in Chicago, is it a hard job for you to convince him, hey, let's get involved in this, I want to do this? Is he a willing, or does he say, wait a minute, let's talk about it, let's see if this is really right or not? How do you deal with this side of, the philanthropy part of it?
In the beginning, everything that I had to do, I had to present to the board. So whether it was in Jamnagar when we wanted to plant the 2 million trees, and I had to make a whole presentation because we wanted to work with the environment to see that whether, we could increase the rainfall in that arid place of Jamnagar. So I used to make presentations to the board, as to make presentations to different people. I've been working in this field now for over 15 years, in education, especially in education and environment. At this juncture, I think the board and Mukesh trust me. And I must say, this is my first initiative taking Reliance Foundation abroad. I was, last 2 days I was like apprehensive. I hope this goes well. It's my first time that we are taking a cultural initiative out of India. And I hope people respond well to this.
I can tell you personally, we took a tour of that exhibit. It is amazing.
Thank you.
And every one of those museum officials was very grateful and genuinely grateful to the Reliance Foundation. Sponsors come all the time for great works of art, great projects.
Well, the President's Council is very important for essentially providing the wherewithal for us to realize exhibitions on this scale, because these are projects that are years in the planning, and they are, understandably, when you look around you, think of the conservation and the transport and everything that goes into realizing an exhibition. One needs enlightened support. And that enlightened support of culture is what the Ambanis have contributed to this exhibition, without their support, quite frankly, we could not have realized this exhibition.
Well, we are so grateful to the Ambanis and to the Reliance Foundation, but really when we were thinking about approaching the Ambanis and asking for their support of this really groundbreaking show, it really seemed like such a natural fit and such a great way to advance a relationship. And of course, with every great relationship, there's courtship that occurs, and we were learning more about them and they were learning more about us. But given Mrs. Ambani's, Nita Ambani's interest and passion for this art form, we just felt that it was a natural fit. And so we are so grateful for her support and the support, of course, of our local patrons, Prabha and Anita Sinha.
But I could see a sincerity in each one of those officials when I spoke to them. And I could see the audience, the public coming in, streaming in to watch this exhibit. And it was amazing the way they were looking at every single little fabric, every little piece of this work. So you've done a great job. I want to compliment you.
Thank you so much.
That.
Thank you.
It really is amazing. Environment, another topic you raised, and that's going to be a huge issue. This year, in fact, in December, in Paris, there's going to be a climate conference. And the entire world, led by the United Nations, have been saying, look, there's no time. If we don't do anything this year about climate change and reduce the emissions around the world, mankind, humankind, is done. How worried are you about our planet because of climate change?
I think we need to leave a better world for our children. That's a legacy that all the children of the world deserve. And I was so surprised how nature responds. We took up Jamnagar as a site for the refinery. And it's a dry, arid, desert place where the sun blazes to 45 degrees in the summer. It's impossible to even stand there. And that time we took up this plantation drive to say, what can we do? So we went ahead and planted 2 million trees. Now it's 3.5 million trees. And we could see the change in the climate there. We could see that the rainfall has increased. We have, in the greens, we have now got migratory and resident birds and animals coming into the refinery, which is magic. I mean, this is the beauty of nature. It's magic in front of you. And I think, and now we have in a desert the largest mango orchard in Asia, producing one of the sweetest mangoes. So I think I just think that we're so blessed to have this world, and we need to see that it's green and clean.
And you're so passionate, again, I say this goes back obviously to your art upbringing yourself, to being an artist, to being this classical Indian dancer. Which reminds me, do you practice any of your Bharatnatyam?
Yes, every day.
Yeah?
Every
and
day.
do you go out, do you ever perform for a private audience of family and friends maybe that would request you to do it?
I do it during our Navratri. I'm a big Devi Bhakt, so Amba Bhakt, so I perform for Navratri and I perform for sometimes the Reliance Day.
So I imagine you like Dandiya Ras and Garba, Ras Garba and all the rest of it.
Of course.
And that,
I'm a Gujarati, so
you are,
as
am I, and I think we're proud to meet another Gujarati like yourself. And this is our first meeting. Viewers, by the way, I've interviewed her husband, Mr. Mukesh Ambani, several times, but this is the first time I've had the pleasure of meeting the First Lady, Nita Ambani herself. And as we conclude this interview, Nita, I know you have a very busy schedule. I don't want to hold you. We're here in Chicago, the Windy City. I'd like you to enunciate for my viewers what you feel is the legacy you'd like to leave for yourself. And I say yourself specifically, not as Reliance Foundation, not as Reliance at all, not as Mukesh Ambani, not as an Ambani, but as Nita. Given your artistry, given your passion for life, given your passion for children, given your passion for everything, I want to know what kind of legacy would you like to leave for yourself? Let's say 10 years down the line, how would you like people to refer to you, Nita?
Probably someone who brought a smile to a child's face. I think if we can have happy children in this world, it'll make a better place for all of us.
That is so eloquently put. Thank you very much for joining us on TV Asia. We wish you luck, and always let us know if TV Asia can help you. We'll be delighted to do so.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
For all of us, today is a very special evening, a special celebration, the completion of 10 years of Mumbai Indians. Mumbai Indians came silently and unexpectedly in our lives. And now it has become such an integral part of all our feelings and our being. It has been one of the most beautiful journeys that presented us 10 years of wonderful memories that all of us truly cherish. 10 years of emotions that has made a huge impact on our lives. 10 years of new friendships and bonding. And 10 years of prayers, just like last night, when things seemed completely impossible. But we will not trade these 10 years for anything else. It has truly been a magical and memorable journey for all of us. For me, for all Mumbaikars and millions of our fans across the world. Mumbai Indians is our team, our home team. It is this fierce loyalty of our fans that drives everyone in Mumbai Indians to do their best always. From the beginning, Sachin is an inseparable part of Mumbai Indians. For 10 years, now and forever, Sachin. It still gives me goosebumps, Sachin, when I hear the chant, Sachin, Sachin. Can we do it for him? Making the stadium come alive just like last night, Sach. A special welcome to Sanat, who played our first match for Mumbai in the old Wankhede. Anil Bhai, just so touched that you're here tonight with us for this celebration. It was under Anil Bhai's mentorship that we won our first IPL trophy in 2013. So thank you, Anil Bhai. I would also like to acknowledge the contributions of legends like Ricky Ponting, Sean Pollock, and Zahir Khan. And of course, our winning captains, Bhaji and Rohit. Mumbai Indians has been a cricketing nursery for youngsters like Ajinkya Rahane, Manish Pandey, Chahal. Shikhar, I'm so happy you are here with us tonight. Dhaval Kulkarni, Boom Boom Bumrao, Hardik Pandya, Krunal Pandya, and now Nitish Rana. Let's give a big round of applause to all our youngsters. We are proud that Mumbai Indians has been able to establish a brand of cricket that has won not just 4 trophies, but millions of fans and their hearts. We truly treasure the wholehearted support of our fans game after game, whether in wins or in losses. It is this support of our fans that has inspired the Mumbai Indians to bring home the laurels. Mumbai Indians has emerged as champions, both in cricket and in spirit. For me personally, one of the greatest wins has been our Education for All initiative. In this 10th year of Mumbai Indians, we are also celebrating another milestone. EFA has impacted the education of over 1 lakh children. Friends, as you all know, 10 is a very auspicious number. 10 is associated with Dasa Avatar, the 10 gurus of Sikhism, the 10 commandments, the 10th card of tarot that stands for the wheel of fortune. And for Indians, 10 means Sachin Tendulkar. And yes, Mumbai Indians is the only IPL team that has been fortunate to have this global icon as a part of its team for all the 10 years. Congratulations, Sachin. Along with Sachin, we are proud and privileged to have on our side Bhaji and Mali for this eventful first decade. Congratulations, Bhaji and Mali. You are the soul, spirit, and strength of Mumbai Indians. Thank you. And finally, this would not be complete without thanking my husband Mukesh for challenging me to take up a role that I was not ready for and neither qualified to do. It was his unconditional faith in me that inspired me to understand the game of cricket, to build and inspire a winning team. And now, friends, as a mother, what more can I ask for? As I pass on the baton to my son, Akash, who has literally grown up with a family of Mumbai Indians for the last 10 years, I feel proud. I'm sure with his passion and knowledge of the game, he, along with the next generation of youngsters, will take the team to even greater heights. God bless you all. And now, I have the pleasure to introduce our 3 pillars of Mumbai Indians.
So maybe start with the legend himself, Sachin Tendulkar, to come on stage. Can we get Bhaji coming out? Let's all give it to him. Lasit Malinga, come along.
He's been a pillar as far as our team is concerned. He's always preferred to be in the background. But today, I wouldn't let him be. Mukesh bhai, can I please invite you up on the stage and say a few words?
I have to congratulate Nita. A lot of us at Reliance say that we are very proud of what Reliance has done over the years. But I think that what Nita has done with both her school and cricket has built a bigger brand for Reliance in Mumbai Indians and the Dhirubhai Ambani International Schools and Reliance.
We're going to release this book of memories, and it wouldn't be complete without having our winning captain Rohit Sharma with us tonight. So Rohit, can I request you to come up on stage for the book release?
There you are, ladies and gentlemen, that's Mumbai Indians for you. Nita, we've heard this story of you coming in to join the Mumbai Indians and taking it over, and you're already into education. And yet when you're asked to take it over, was a little tense? Can I do it? Can I not do it? It's an area I haven't been in before.
You're right, Harsha. I was a teacher and busy running Dhirubhai Ambani International School. The first 2 years, we didn't qualify for the top 4 slots. And I thought it was in IPL 2, such if I remember right, we had lost 4 matches in a row in South Africa. And I was sitting there and says, this is Mukesh's team there, and they're not winning. Let me just go there and support the team. It was important for me to make them feel whether they win or they lose, we are going to back them. And Harsha, I didn't know a thing about cricket. I came back from South Africa saying, you know, we've got such great cricketers in our team and such great human beings. Why don't we kind of bring them all together? And that's where my journey with cricket and with sports started. And I still believe education and sports are bedrocks to any vibrant society.
I'll tell you what happened after that. We did the interview at the school. And next thing she says is, you know, when we go to South Africa, she did this. She said, you know, the ball seems around a little bit like that. I said, nah, she's done her homework. And since then, you've become a bit of a stats freak as well, haven't you?
Yeah, sitting in strategy meetings, now I know whether it is a seaming track or whether it is it's a spinning track, whether it is a cover drive or a straight drive, or what it means when there is dew and whether we should chase or whether we should play. So I think I have learned the nuances of cricket with all these boys. I need to actually thank them for this.
You know, I've been very fortunate over the years to have interacted with Sachin greatly. It's been a huge learning experience. But I can tell you one thing. I have never done a conversation with him much like we did at that Born to Win. That was Sachin, and it's something that will always stay within the Mumbai Indian side. It was one of the most moving 45 minutes I've heard you speak.
I remember when I was chatting with Bhabhi and he said that, can we do something different? And the first thing was, can we get the team together? The team is together, but we need to understand each other. There were quite a few senior players in the team. I mean, Sanat's been around for a long, long time. I had played cricket for a long time, and then suddenly, someone like Right Way still continues to call me sir. Stop calling me sir. So, these kind of youngsters who were full of energy and vibrancy. But we wanted that understanding and wanted to build that bridge of communication. If somebody notices something on the field, he should be able to come and tell me, okay, I think you're not playing correct shot. You need to avoid this shot. And to be able to do that, we needed, I felt, to move away from cricket and do something different. The Born to Win camp had nothing to do with cricket. No cricket practice. We played badminton, table tennis, swam together, played even paintball, and those kind of things. It was more about understanding each other. And as Bhabhi put it correctly, that, to know what challenges Baji met with, Zahir and so many other youngsters also spoke. And, this initiative was taken by Bhabhi. Bhabhi said that we are a family. We need to be like a family whether we win or we lose. And the whole idea was that, that is how good teams are built. And whether the senior most person, if you want to pull his leg, the junior most person should be able to do that. And that was the kind of atmosphere we created in the dressing room. And even in the meetings, I mean, they were all participative meetings. Everyone had to speak. So,
Including Lasit?
Lasit, yes. Lasit did most of his talking with the ball. Whenever I handed over the ball to him, he said, no problem, Yorkers are always there in stock for me.
Lasit, playing all your life in Colombo, in Sri Lanka, you come here, wear the blues, you're living in Mumbai virtually for those 2 months, and you're at the top of your mark in a different land, and suddenly people are going, Malinga. Tell us a little bit about what you feel, because the one chant that the one kid is known for is, of course, Sachin, Sachin, but the second chant that the one kid is now known for is Malinga.
I think really happy because of I went to the Mumbai Indians, then in the Wankhede, all the people are shouting as Malinga, Malinga. Then because of, if we need to perform well, we need that ground support and all the fans are supporting us. That's why we are expecting during the match. I think I got that, and I really happy playing Wankhede because of all the ground support stuff and our home team, home ground. I think that's why we have a good energy to perform during the match. That's a very important thing for all the players and management. And if they got good support, then we can perform well.
But you had a fantastic relationship with Mumbai Indians over the years as well. Tell us about 2011. आपने कहा कि आधी टीम के साथ जीते, बल्कि आधी भी नहीं थी टीम आपके पास.
I remember I was sleeping at home and Robin Singh called me and said, Sachin is injured, Rohit is injured, Munaf is injured, and we have no players. I said, don't worry, we'll win. Because somehow I believe that if your will is bigger than skill, you'll always win. So, मेरी will जो थी, somehow बड़ी थी, because that's how I have played my cricket, that's how I have grown up. That I wanted to be a cricketer, I wanted to represent my country, and my will was there. That's why I played for India, and that's the same attitude I took over there and spoke to the boys and said, this is what we have. And just think about 26th or 28th of September or whatever month it was. Yes, you guys should imagine yourself, in India's all top newspapers, front page, you guys lifting the cup. That should be the image you guys should think about, and You know, if you'll think about it, it'll happen. That's exactly what I spoke to them, and that's what happened. And we played each and every game like we were playing in the finals. So it's not just me, I did. It's about the guys who did. And they respond really well. I mean, इससे जाहिर होता है कि बड़े नामों की कई बार ज़रूरत नहीं होती है, कई बार छोटे भी सब काम कर जाते हैं. It's about this will. Will makes anyone bigger than anyone.
But I'll tell you something about Akash. This September, we were in England watching a football match, and all of a sudden, I see a familiar figure next to me, and there's Akash, and we're not talking about Arsenal, and we are talking about Mumbai Indians. And I said, Akash, this September. We've got a long time to go till April. So when do you start thinking about the season ahead?
If it was with me and my dad discussing and my mom, sometimes it would be 2 seasons from now. But no, we generally start early in the year. I think all the scouting group is here. I mean, generally in September timeframe is when we start finding new players, giving fitness regimes to our current players. With Rohit, it's a little different. It's 2 days after the tournament ends. I remember after we won in 2015, I called him, Rohit, we cannot take it lightly. Next season starts. Whenever we win, we'll take things lightly, but we have to know what we do right. So September is the time when we start thinking about what we need to do.
Thank you very much. It's been a wonderful conversation. We got long answers from Lasith Malinga today. I'd like now to invite on stage 2 very special children who've been part of EFA's program to share their experiences with us. Please join me giving a warm welcome to Sanket and Subhan with their parents. How does it feel, Sanket, being part of this Education for All initiative?
Being part of Education for All is very, very amazing. And it's a very good initiative started by Nita ma'am and Mumbai Indians. And it's like by starting this initiative, many unprivileged children and also special children are able to get quality education, and like they also get a chance to watch a match in the stadium. And at that time, you know, you get a special smile on their faces, which is very difficult to bring. So that's just amazing. And one more thing I would like to highlight, I met Sachin sir before, and I requested him that I want his gloves. He told me that he will send it after his match, and he actually did. So thank you, sir, for that. I'm very glad to have it. And last, I would like to wish all the best to the whole Mumbai Indians team for the season. Hope we win, and all the best. Thank you.
Please come and give us a speech, man. You speak beautifully. Well done. And now to a very special lady, Subhan's mother. And there is young Subhan himself, always active, always busy. How has Education for All impacted you, ma'am, as a parent?
First of all, I would like to thank the EFA, Mrs. Nita Ambani, and the Mumbai Indians on behalf of the Umid Child Development Center, which has given us an opportunity for our children, for their overall development, and us as parents a new hope. Because we didn't think our children could cope up with anything in life because of their disabilities. But because of the EFA, Education for All, the right to education has been made possible for children like us. My son, I would like to congratulate the Mumbai Indians for the outstanding performances, and I would like to wish them all the best for the future performance. They are family, and we heartily support you all as they play for a cause. My son Subhan is a special child, but I consider myself as a special mother. And I think children like Subhan are more lucky because not only do they have a special mother, but they also have a special godmother, Mrs. Nita Ambani. under whose EFA's umbrella, not only the underprivileged children, but also children with disabilities are being sheltered. Thank you a lot, ma'am.
And thank you very much for coming.
Thanks.
Subhan, hope you go well.
It was a pleasure.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. This is two of the many, many people whose lives are being impacted by the Education for All. Doesn't want to go?
The Reliance Foundation strives to address national imperatives and societal gaps. There is no doubt that information and knowledge have the power to transform lives. Access to information has always been integral to the growth of human beings. Information divide is unacceptable in today's world. Digital form of writing. What is most fascinating is that it was invented by a visually impaired Louis Braille. Reading is indeed a pleasurable activity for all of us. Technology is still not affordable and reachable to all. So a Braille newspaper fills the gaps and fulfills a need. And it is just not innovations, but compassionate innovators that will make the real difference.
That, we get over this thing about all the misconceptions that they have.
Right, absolutely.
Religious misconceptions that if you donate eyes, you can't see to the next janam. Next birth, you're born blind. All those things need to be done away with.
This is really a small beginning. With that, we have started Reliance Drishti, the newspaper for the visually impaired, people who don't have sight. And it's a humble and a modest beginning.
मैडम आपने भी अपनी आँख डोनेट की है, इस पे क्या कहेंगे और क्या सोच के किया आपने?
Actually, जब मैं छोटी थी तब my grandmother and my eldest uncle both were blind, and I have seen the challenges that they face, not now but that many years ago. And it's a simple thing to donate your eyes. It will make a huge difference to your fellow human beings, to your fellow brothers and sisters. And I did this 5 years ago. I donated my eyes. And I hope many people will come forward and donate their eyes.
इस न्यूज़पेपर के आपने कॉस्ट क्या सोची है या फिर ये सोशल पर्पस है?
This is, at this moment, we are distributing it.
फिलहाल दादर से इसकी शुरुआत कर रही हैं आप आज यहाँ से कमला?
We are and then we are reaching out to more than 300 institutions, from where we will reach out to more than I think 20 or 25,000 readers in the beginning, and then it will grow from there on.
Ma'am, many congratulations on this initiative. It's a beautiful one. Just a couple of questions here. In the last 2-3 years, we've been seeing you being very involved in healthcare and education. Seen in that light, how happy are you with what came out in the budget as far as these two sectors are concerned, and healthcare in particular, because there was a lot of hue and cry that it has to be recognized as an infrastructure sector for more of private money also to come into that industry. Your view on that?
From the very beginning, I have said that one of the most important things that India needs to do is education and healthcare. Education and healthcare, we cannot have differentiation in these two services. And whatever endeavors that we do, as the people of India, as government, should bridge this gap. We must bridge the societal gaps that we have. We cannot afford to have education divide and healthcare divide in this country.
One more question.
What are the more initiatives taken by Reliance Drishti in the future?
Reliance Foundation, as you know, rests on 5 pillars: in healthcare, education, urban renewal, BEAT, which is Bharat India Jodo. So I can talk of Reliance Foundation. For Reliance Drishti, I'm working with NAB, and as and when the needs are coming up, we are going to devote ourselves to those needs. And the the needs are changing. So now how do you make this information available in real time is going to be a next challenge. But as I said, this is our first step. It is my first humble beginning. I want to learn and start and take it further.
दोस्तों, आज हम बात करेंगे 2020 में दुनिया के शीर्ष परोपकारियों की सूची में शामिल होने वाली नीता अंबानी के बारे में। नीता अंबानी का जन्म 1 नवंबर 1963 को मुंबई में हुआ था। उन्होंने शिक्षा बैचलर इन कॉमर्स में नरसिम्हा मोजी कॉलेज ऑफ कॉमर्स एंड इकोनॉमिक्स से ली और डिप्लोमा अर्ली चाइल्डहुड एजुकेशन में किया। परिवार में उनके पति मुकेश अंबानी और उनके 2 बेटे आकाश और अनंत हैं और बेटी है ईशा। उन्हें कई अवार्ड भी मिले हैं, जैसे राष्ट्रीय खेल प्रोत्साहन पुरस्कार, पहली भारतीय ट्रस्टी मेट्रोपॉलिटन म्यूजियम ऑफ आर्ट न्यूयॉर्क 2017, बेस्ट कॉरपोरेट प्रमोटर ऑफ इंडियन स्पोर्ट्स में, और वो फाउंडर एंड चेयरपर्सन भी है कई ऑर्गेनाइजेशन की, जैसे रिलायंस फाउंडेशन, धीरूभाई अंबानी इंटरनेशनल स्कूल, फुटबॉल स्पोर्ट्स डेवलपमेंट लिमिटेड, सर HN रिलायंस फाउंडेशन हॉस्पिटल एंड रिसर्च सेंटर, और वो को ओनर भी है IPL टीम मुंबई इंडियंस की, और उन्हें मेंबर ही बनाया गया है 2016 में इंटरनेशनल ओलंपिक कमेटी का। 56 साल की नीता अंबानी 2020 के दुनिया के शीर्ष समाजसेवियों में शामिल हो गई है। अमेरिका की प्रतिष्ठित टाउन एंड कंट्री मैगजीन ने कोविड-19 के प्रति नीता और उनके लीडरशिप में रिलायंस फाउंडेशन के प्रयासों के कारण उन्हें यह सम्मान दिया है। भारत से ये सम्मान पाने वाली वे इकलौती है। एशिया के सबसे धनी व्यक्ति मुकेश अंबानी की पत्नी नीता एक इंटरव्यू में कहती है कि शादी के बाद 17 साल तक वह मुकेश की पत्नी बनकर रही। उसके बाद उन्होंने अपनी ज़िंदगी के उद्देश्य तलाशे। उन्हें पढ़ाना पसंद है, शादी के बाद भी टीचिंग की। अब इस काम को रिलायंस फाउंडेशन के तहत चलने वाले देश के 14 स्कूल और धीरूभाई अंबानी स्कूल के माध्यम से वह आगे बढ़ा रही है। वह हेल्थ केयर, खेल, महिला सशक्तिकरण में काम के साथ कलाकारों का प्रचार प्रसार भी कर रही है, कलाओं का। 2016 में फोर्ब्स ने एशिया की 50 मोस्ट पावरफुल बिजनेस वूमेन में भी नीता अंबानी को चुना था। वह रविवार बच्चों के साथ बिताती है और डिनर हमेशा पति के साथ करती है। नीता मध्यम वर्गीय परिवार में पैदा हुई है। उनके पिता रविंद्र भाई दलाल बिरला समूह में काम करते थे। उन्हें 5 साल की उम्र से ही भरतनाट्यम पसंद है। एक कार्यक्रम के दौरान धीरूभाई अंबानी और कोकिला बहन ने नीता को नृत्य करते हुए देखा और पसंद कर लिया। काम की व्यस्तता के बावजूद नीता और मुकेश साथ में डिनर करते हैं। रविवार का दिन बच्चों के साथ ही बिताती है। वह परिवार के साथ साल में 2 बार छुट्टियां मनाने के लिए अफ्रीका जाती है। नीता अंबानी को मिस परफेक्शनिस्ट भी कहा जाता है। उनके IPL टीम मुंबई इसको उन्होंने संभालते ही उनकी टीम ने IPL जीतना शुरू कर दिया। नीता के बारे में कहा जाता है कि वह जिस काम में लग जाती है उसे पूरा करके ही दम लेती है। उनके क्रिकेट और मुंबई इंडियंस में रुचि नहीं थी। दूसरे सीजन में एक मैच के दौरान टीम को हारते हुए देखकर उन्हें टीम में रुचि ली। क्रिकेट को समझने के लिए साल भर तक T20 से लेकर काउंटी क्लब मैचेस देखे। टीम के साथ ही ट्रैवल शुरू किया, खिलाड़ी को मोटिवेट किया। मुंबई इंडियंस अब तक 4 बार IPL टीम जीत चुकी है। नीता अंबानी की आदतें हैं, जैसे कि उन्हें 7 बजे उठना पसंद है। वो 7 बजे उठ जाती है। उसके बाद भरतनाट्यम को ध्यान मानती है और खाने में थेपला पसंद करती है। नीता की दिन की शुरुआत रोजाना सुबह 7 बजे होती है। इसके बाद वह 45 मिनट तक भरतनाट्यम करती है। इसके बाद वह स्कूल, हॉस्पिटल या फिर IPL सीजन के दौरान स्टेडियम वहीं से सारा काम संभालती है। उनका स्ट्रेस बस्टर डांस, स्विमिंग और बच्चों के साथ वक्त बिताना है। डांस उनके लिए मेडिटेशन की तरह है। वह कहती है कि नृत्य उन्हें ईश्वर से जोड़ता है। उन्हें बिना घी का थेपला खाना पसंद है। रविवार को साउथ इंडियन ब्रेकफास्ट इडली डोसा खाती है। हफ्ते में 6 दिन ऑफिस और खुद इंटरव्यू करके लोगों को रखती है। नीता छोटे छोटे कामों में भी हर चीज़ का ध्यान रखती है, जैसे रिलायंस फाउंडेशन के हॉस्पिटल में कौन सी मशीन किस कंपनी से आएगी, कौन से डॉक्टर ज्वाइन करेंगे। हालांकि वह कहती है कि किसी प्रोजेक्ट को शुरू करने के बाद उसमें दखल अंदाजी नहीं करती। वह कहती है कि हर चीज़ सिस्टम के तहत होनी चाहिए। अस्पताल में डॉक्टर्स के अलावा 400 नर्सिंग स्टाफ तक का उन्होंने इंटरव्यू लिया है। धीरूभाई अंबानी स्कूल में काम करने के वाले सभी टीचर का भी नीता ने इंटरव्यू लिया है। तो ये थी नीता अंबानी की पूरी कहानी। अगर दोस्तों आपको अच्छी लगी हो तो इस वीडियो को ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा शेयर करें, लाइक करें एंड सब्सक्राइब जरूर करें। थैंक यू दोस्तों फॉर वॉचिंग माई वीडियो।
नमस्कार दोस्तों, इंडिया आई में आपका स्वागत है। आज हम आपको हिंदुस्तान के सबसे अमीर आदमी मुकेश अंबानी के प्रेम कहानी के बारे में बताएंगे। हम आपको ये भी बताएंगे कि आखिर मुकेश अंबानी की मां कोकिला बेन ने नीता अंबानी में ऐसा क्या देखा कि उन्हें बहू बनाने के लिए जिद पकड़ ली। और हम आपको ये भी बताएंगे कि मुकेश अंबानी ने बीच सड़क में ऐसा क्या नीता अंबानी से कह दिया कि वहां लंबा जाम लग गया। और यही नहीं, हम ये भी बताएंगे कि नीता अंबानी की वो कौन सी शर्त थी जिसे मुकेश अंबानी मानने को मजबूर हो गए। तो आइए शुरू करते हैं इस दिलचस्प लव स्टोरी की। मुकेश अंबानी और नीता अंबानी के प्रेम कहानी की शुरुआत का पहला पन्ना अक्टूबर 1984 में लिखा गया। नवरात्र का त्योहार चल रहा था और मुंबई के मातोश्री बिरला हॉल में भरतनाट्यम नृत्य का आयोजन चल रहा था। इस क्लासिकल डांस को देखने धीरू भाई अंबानी और कोकिला बेन भी गए थे। और जब क्लासिकल डांस शुरू हुआ तब मुकेश अंबानी की मां कोकिला बेन मंच पर डांस कर रही डांसर को देखकर इतना प्रभावित हुई कि उन्होंने उस डांसर को ही अपने बेटे मुकेश अंबानी के लिए जीवन साथी बनाने का निर्णय ले लिया। ये डांसर कोई और नहीं बल्कि मुकेश की जिंदगी में आने वाली हमसफर नीता अंबानी थी। ये वक्त 1984 का था। तब आज की तरह मोबाइल फोन नहीं होते थे बल्कि लैंडलाइन फोन होते थे। और धीरू भाई अंबानी ने लैंडलाइन फोन से नीता दलाल के पिता रविंद्र भाई दलाल को फोन किया और बोला कि मैं धीरू भाई अंबानी बोल रहा हूं। ये सुन करके रविंद्र भाई दलाल को तो यकीन ही नहीं हुआ, क्योंकि उनके जैसे मिडिल क्लास आदमी को कोई भारत का सबसे बड़ा उद्योगपति फोन कर रहा था। और जल्द ही किसी को यकीन नहीं होने वाला था कि नीता दलाल नीता अंबानी बनने वाली हैं। धीरू भाई अंबानी ने नीता और उनके पिता को फोन करके अपने घर बुलाया और जब दरवाजा खोला तो काली पैंट और सफेद शर्ट पहने 27 साल के एक लड़के ने दरवाजा खोला। तब नीता को यह नहीं पता था कि घर का दरवाजा खोलने वाला यह लड़का उनकी जिंदगी में आकर उनके भाग्य के सारे दरवाजे खोलने वाला है। यह कोई और नहीं बल्कि मुकेश अंबानी थे। नीता एक मध्यम वर्गीय परिवार से थी, एक क्लासिकल डांसर थी और साथ ही वो एक स्कूल में पढ़ाने भी जाती थी। मुकेश नीता को पसंद करने लगे थे। उनकी चाहत इस कदर बढ़ गई थी कि वो नीता दलाल को रोज सुबह गुलाब का फूल भेजा करते थे। और यह तब तक चलता रहा जब तक कि उनकी शादी नहीं हो गई। मुकेश मुंबई के पास पाताल गंगा में एक पॉलिस्टर प्लांट लगवा रहे थे और जब भी वो घर लौटते तो अक्सर रात हो जाती थी। और उस आधी रात में नीता दलाल को वो स्ट्रीट फूड के लिए पाव भाजी खिलाना नहीं भूलते थे। यह सिलसिला लगभग 3 हफ्ते तक चला। अब वो भी समय आ गया जब मुकेश अंबानी ने नीता को प्रपोज किया। हरे रंग की फिएट कार में दोनों सवार थे। मुकेश ने नीता को प्रपोज करते हुए बोला कि क्या तुम मुझसे शादी करोगी। नीता ने कुछ नहीं बोला, लेकिन मुकेश ने जिद पकड़ ली कि जब तक आप हाँ नहीं कहेंगी ये गाड़ी आगे नहीं बढ़ेगी। और देखते ही देखते वहां लंबा जाम लग गया। हार कर नीता ने हाँ कहा, लेकिन एक शर्त भी रख दी। और शर्त ये थी कि मैं बतौर टीचर स्कूल में जहां अभी पढ़ा रही हूं वहां पढ़ाती रहूंगी और आप मुझे स्कूल में पढ़ाने के लिए मना नहीं करेंगे। मुकेश अंबानी ने ये शर्त मान ली। और फिर मार्च 1985 का वो दिन भी आ गया जब मुकेश अंबानी के सिर पर सेहरा सजा और नीता दलाल नीता अंबानी बन गई। नीता अंबानी भले ही रिलायंस ग्रुप के मालिक धीरू भाई अंबानी की बहू बन गई थी, लेकिन उन्होंने अपनी सादगी को हमेशा बनाए रखा। एक किस्सा बड़ा मशहूर है उनकी सादगी को लेकर के। नीता अंबानी शादी के बाद भी स्कूल में बतौर टीचर पढ़ाती थी। एक दिन उनके पास एक स्टूडेंट के पिता आए और उन्होंने 1987 क्रिकेट वर्ल्ड कप का पास दिया, जिसे नीता अंबानी ने लेने से मना कर दिया। 2 दिन बाद जब उस स्टूडेंट के पिता क्रिकेट मैच देखने गए तब उन्होंने देखा कि नीता अंबानी वीवीआईपी बॉक्स में बैठी हुई हैं। तब उन्हें पता चला कि ये रिलायंस ग्रुप के मालिक की बहू हैं और मुकेश अंबानी की पत्नी। ऐसी सादगी से इनकी अमीरी को लेकर के हमेशा धोखा होता रहा। आज इस वीडियो में इतना ही। मिलेंगे अगले वीडियो में, तब तक के लिए नमस्कार, जय हिंद।
नीता अंबानी को हम सब जानते हैं, लेकिन ज्यादातर लोगों की नजरों में वो सिर्फ मुकेश अंबानी की पत्नी है। लेकिन एशिया के सबसे अमीर आदमी की पत्नी होने के अलावा भी नीता की खुद की एक अलग पहचान है और आज हम बात करेंगे उसी पहचान के बारे में। नीता अंबानी का जन्म 1 नवंबर 1964 को मुंबई महाराष्ट्र में एक मिडिल क्लास फैमिली में हुआ था। उनके पिता का नाम रविंद्र भाई दलाल है और वो बिरला की एक कंपनी में उच्च पद पर थे। उनकी मां का नाम पूर्णिमा दलाल है। नीता ने अपनी शुरुआती पढ़ाई मुंबई से ही की। उसके बाद उन्होंने नारसी मोंजी कॉलेज ऑफ कॉमर्स एंड इकोनॉमिक्स मुंबई महाराष्ट्र से कॉमर्स से डिग्री हासिल की। इसके साथ ही वो एक प्रशिक्षित भरतनाट्यम नृत्यांगना भी है। नीता अंबानी ने गुजराती परिवार में जन्म लिया था, जहां संगीत और शास्त्रीय नृत्य हमेशा पसंद किए जाते हैं और इस नृत्य को प्रमुख स्थान दिया जाता है। उनकी मां एक प्रसिद्ध गुजराती लोक डांसर थी। उनकी मां ने सिर्फ 8 वर्ष की उम्र में नीता को नृत्य सिखाना शुरू कर दिया। नीता भी नृत्य में बहुत रुचि दिखाने लगी। भरतनाट्यम में वो अपने कौशल के लिए काफी प्रसिद्ध हो गई। दरअसल नीता भारतीय क्लासिकल डांस में अपना करियर बनाना चाहती थी, जबकि उनकी मां चाहती थी कि वो एक चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट बने। नीता अंबानी पूरे गुजरात में अपने भरतनाट्यम नृत्य के लिए बहुत प्रसिद्ध थी। उनके कई प्रदर्शनों में से एक नृत्य धीरू भाई ने भी देखा। वो नीता के शानदार प्रदर्शन से बहुत प्रभावित हुए। उनके नृत्य में धीरूभाई अंबानी ने भारतीय परंपरा के साथ एक अद्भुत सुंदरता देखी। ये कार्यक्रम बिरला मोतीश्री के परिसर में हुआ था। धीरूभाई ने आयोजक से उनके बारे में पूछा और टेलीफोन नंबर सहित नीता से संबंधित सभी जानकारियां ले ली। अगले ही दिन धीरूभाई ने नीता के घर पर फोन किया और फोन नीता ने ही उठाया था। जब धीरूभाई अंबानी ने उन्हें बताया कि वो कौन है और वो नीता से बात करना चाहते हैं, तो नीता ने तुरंत जवाब दिया कि यहाँ एलिजाबेथ टेलर के अलावा कोई और नहीं है और फोन काट दिया। दरअसल नीता ने ये सोचा कि कोई उनके साथ मजाक कर रहा है। आखिरकार भारत के प्रसिद्ध व्यापारी धीरूभाई उन्हें कैसे फोन कर सकते थे। उसके बाद धीरूभाई ने नीता के पिता से बात की और नीता से मिलने का प्रस्ताव रखा। थोड़ी दृढ़ता से उन्होंने धीरूभाई को मिलने के लिए सहमति दी। अपने कार्यक्रम में धीरूभाई ने नीता से कई चीजों के बारे में प्रश्न पूछा, जिसमें शिक्षा, शौक और खाना पकाने के कौशल से संबंधित सवाल शामिल थे। फिर उन्होंने नीता को अपने घर आने के लिए आमंत्रित किया। नीता धीरूभाई अंबानी के घर गई। नीता अंदर आई, सबके साथ बैठी और सबसे बात करने लगी और तब मुकेश के साथ कई बार मिलने का फैसला किया। मुकेश और नीता अंबानी ने इस बैठक के बाद बार बार मिलने का प्रयास किया और एक दूसरे से दोनों ही मिलने लगे। हालांकि नीता अभी भी इस संबंध के बारे में काफी उलझन में थी। वो पहले अपनी शिक्षा पूरी करना चाहती थी, वहीं धीरूभाई के फैसले से अवगत थी, लेकिन वो इस रिश्ते को कुछ समय देना चाहती थी।
क्या यार, क्या फायदा हुआ इतने सारे क्वेश्चन निकालने के बाद भी अगर एग्जाम में लिखना ही ना आए।
अरे यार, लगता है तुम लोगों ने एनी टाइम क्लासेस ऐप का नाम नहीं सुना। यहाँ पर सुपर्ब कंटेंट है, सीधे एग्जाम में लिखने लायक।
और इसकी वीडियोस एक मूवी के सीन की तरह है जो दिल और दिमाग में बैठ जाती है।
एक दिन मुकेश और नीता पोड्डार रोड से गुजर रहे थे। मुकेश ने अपनी कार को लाल यातायात सिग्नल देखकर रोक दिया। हालांकि सिग्नल ग्रीन होने के बावजूद भी उन्होंने अपनी कार नहीं चलाई। नीता ने उन्हें कार आगे बढ़ाने के लिए कहा, क्योंकि इससे यातायात जाम हो सकता था। मुकेश ने उनसे स्पष्ट रूप से पूछा कि क्या तुम मुझसे शादी करोगे। उन्होंने उनसे कहा कि वो कार तब तक आगे नहीं बढ़ाएंगे जब तक वो उनके प्रश्न का जवाब नहीं देंगी। नीता के पास कोई विकल्प नहीं मिला और उन्होंने शादी के लिए हाँ कर दी। इस प्रकार नीता के मुकेश अंबानी से शादी हुई। उनके 2 बेटे आकाश अंबानी और अनंत अंबानी और एक छोटी बेटी ईशा अंबानी भी है। नीता ने मुकेश के सामने सिर्फ यही शर्त रखी थी कि शादी के बाद उन्हें नौकरी छोड़ने के लिए नहीं कहा जाएगा। उन्होंने शादी के बाद एक प्राथमिक शिक्षक के रूप में पढ़ाना शुरू किया। नीता की पढ़ने की रुचि को देखते हुए साल 2003 में धीरूभाई अंबानी इंटरनेशनल स्कूल की स्थापना की गई। ये स्कूल मुंबई के बेहतरीन स्कूलों में से एक है। वो इस स्कूल में संस्थापक और अध्यक्ष के रूप में काम करती हैं। नीता रिलायंस इंडस्ट्रीज और यूएनएड्स के इनिशिएटिव का भी हिस्सा है। वही अंतर्राष्ट्रीय ओलंपिक समिति IOC की सदस्य बनने वाली पहली भारतीय महिला है। नीता अंबानी रिलायंस इंडस्ट्रीज के सामाजिक और धर्मार्थ से जुड़े कार्यों को देखती हैं। साल 2010 में नीता अंबानी ने रिलायंस फाउंडेशन नाम के चैरिटेबल ट्रस्ट की स्थापना की। ये देश का सबसे बड़ा प्राइवेट चैरिटेबल ट्रस्ट है। इसके माध्यम से ग्रामीण इलाकों में शिक्षा, स्वास्थ्य, कला, संस्कृति और खेल की सुविधाएं उपलब्ध कराई जाती है। वो मुंबई इंडस्ट्रीज क्रिकेट टीम की सह मालकिन भी है। नीता अंबानी को 2005 में इंटरनेशनल वुमेन्स डे पर भारत नारी शक्ति संगठन की ओर से समाज सेवा विश्व भूषण की उपाधि दी गई थी। इसके साथ ही साल 2012 में उन्हें AIMA की तरफ से कॉर्पोरेट सिटीजन ऑफ द ईयर का पुरस्कार भी मिला था। नीता अंबानी के पति देश के सबसे अमीर व्यक्ति हैं, तो उन्हें सभी सुख सुविधाएं तो हासिल हो सकती हैं, लेकिन उनके लिए जो चीज हासिल करना सबसे मुश्किल है वो है अपनी व्यक्तिगत पहचान। लेकिन नीता अंबानी आज भी अपने काम से अपने लिए समाज में अलग पहचान बना रही हैं और वो सभी के लिए प्रेरणा है, उन सभी औरतों के लिए जिन्हें आज भी सिर्फ अपने पति के नाम से जाना जाता है।
क्या करूं यार, एफएम का हर टीचर इतने सारे क्वेश्चंस डाल देता है कि डर लगने लगता है इस सब्जेक्ट से। क्या पढ़ें और क्या छोड़ें?
अरे यार, लगता है तुम लोगों ने एनी टाइम क्लासेस ऐप का नाम नहीं सुना। यहाँ पर सुपर्ब कंटेंट है, सीधे एग्जाम में लिखने लायक।
ये लोग सिर्फ एग्जाम ओरिएंटेड कंटेंट पर ही काम करते हैं, एक एक चैप्टर को इंटरेस्टिंग बनाने के लिए स्पेशलिस्ट हैं।
एफएम के एग्जाम के एक दिन पहले लगता है अब क्या पढ़ना, सब तो आता ही है। गजब का कॉन्फिडेंस आ जाता है।
वाओ यार, एटलीस्ट अब हमें सुबह सुबह उठकर क्लासेस लेने जाना नहीं पड़ेगा। अब हम क्लासेस कर सकते हैं एनी टाइम एनीवेयर, घर में, बस में, मेट्रो में, इवन वॉशरूम में भी।
वाओ यार, मजा आ गया।
Let's switch to anytime classes. Thank you anytime classes for understanding our pain and problem and solving it.